Power flows to the one who knows how. Desire alone is not enough. Freedom is the right of all sentient beings. Megatron must be stopped, no matter the cost. Autobots, roll out! We cannot let the humans pay for our mistakes. Autobots! Reap the whirlwind! One shall stand, one shall fall.
Hello. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Transformers stream. Thanks for joining us. We're here once again with a lot of fresh faces, as you're gonna see, and a lot of old faces here too. Hopefully you can hear us all good and there's no technical problem. But yeah, someone else say hi so we can hear that everyone can hear you. Dale, stop it.
Sorry. He does it to me, okay? So I have to do it back. Hello everyone. Good to see you. Yeah, we've got so many old people here. Not old people, but people who've been here before. And we've got some fresh faces as well. So who is with us? Sam, I'm gonna go to you first. Hi Sam. Tell us what you do at Transformers Earth Wars and how long you've been with us now, and do some shout outs. And welcome. This is your first stream.
Yes, yeah. Hello. Yes, so yeah, I'm Sam. I take care of parts of the design side at the moment. And yeah, I've only been around for four or so months. Deep game, a lot of content, a lot to go through. So yeah, that's been fun, both fun, interesting, and a lot of learnings. But yeah, loving it so far. Loving working with such an IP as well. Like, yeah, how cool is Transformers? So it's great to be here.
Who's your favorite bot then? It doesn't have to be one that's in the game. You don't have to cheat.
Cheat. I mean, there's so many in the game. It's like there's a lot to choose from already. So, yeah, I can safely say still that hasn't changed from a few weeks ago, which told Callum it was just Nor, just because Nor just follows his like hungry little heart and doesn't really pick sides. And in the game as well, I love that he sort of he screams in the UI. So if you put him in your team, he just shouts, and I always found that quite funny. First time I was playing it and I had my sound on, made me laugh.
Okay. Talking about voices, maybe we should say hi to our guests of honor for today. John Bailey, thanks for joining us. For the people that don't know, do you want to do a quick introduction, John, who you are?
Hi, I'm John Bailey. I'm a voice actor for Transformers. I've worked on 2 films that you know of, 1 anime series, and at least a dozen games and commercials and toys and stuff.
Wow. And I guess I'm going to ask you the same question. What's your favorite Transformer, John? Or is that obvious?
That's Shockwave. It's always been Shockwave, but it's only just slightly Shockwave over Soundwave. They're so freaking close together.
Cool. We've got loads of people on Twitch and YouTube now saying, "Hey, John, yo, John." They probably don't know who you are, but they've heard your voice in so many different things. Like you said, you're in the new movie. You've done so many Transformers voices. Which is your favorite voice that you've done, would you say? I know I'm getting too early into the questions. It's just me just wanting to just pester you with things. Don't worry. I'm going to just ask you this one. What's your favorite voice you've done?
Well, my favorite voice that has always been Optimus Prime's voice, but I don't really consider myself like the Optimus Prime. I just consider myself one of several I'm one of the 13 prime. Believe it or not, there's been 13 primes. I say 13 because there was one guy that did like one tiny video game where he did one line. I'm like, I'm not gonna count that one. So there's technically been 14 primes, but 13 that actually have done enough to count themselves as a voice actor for Optimus Prime. I'm only at number 11. But it's iconic voice. When I heard it for the first time, it was actually in Voltron, and I was like, man, that is the coolest voice I've ever heard. And I really didn't even know what it meant, but I was like, I want to be like that voice one day. I just want to be that voice that people go, whoa, what was that? You know, not necessarily being him or taking his roles or anything like that, because there's a lot of rumors out there that I'm just gunning for people's jobs. I want to work with people. I don't want to replace people. I'm not a freaking AI. Stop worrying.
Well, we've got a comment from Mecha says, "Hi John, I love your voice work." Oh, isn't that so nice to say? So thank you, Mecha, for that. So many people are just asking loads of questions. Don't worry, guys, relax. We're gonna get through all the questions.
Yeah, we have an extended stream today. We started a bit earlier. It gives enough time to do some dialogue for the first time in a while. Now we have a professional voice actor, and it's not just us. Have to improvise. And yeah, also saw everything that's gonna be coming in the game tomorrow. Talk about new characters and questions and everything you guys might want to talk about. Yeah, so a lot of things to cover. Talking about the movie, John, I guess you have seen it, the new movie.
John has
I've seen
seen
it
it many times.
Yeah, you are ahead
23
of
times.
us. You're ahead of us because it's not out on the UK. I think it's meant to come
Tomorrow.
out tomorrow in the UK, but
Tomorrow in the UK.
we're all taking the team as a day trip next week on Monday to see it all together. So it's gonna be. We're looking
So
forward
freaking-
to it. Yeah.
I don't say this lightly. A lot of people know me for my work in Transformers or in Honest Trailers, and they have relied on us to give them straightforward information about movies for a very long time, because we don't pull punches. Even if we work with a company, we still give them an honest, fair shake. We don't just kiss butts because they paid us to work with us or whatever. So I say this not as somebody who worked on the movie and not as a Transformers fan. Transformers 1 is just a great film. I'm not saying this because I'm being paid to say it. I'm not TF hype guy. I just really love great movies, and I was really, I shouldn't say I was shocked, because I saw it from the very beginning, the early stages of it to the final version of the film. But it was one of those. That's kind of like what Bumblebee says in the movies. I can't believe it. I know I can't believe it because I just saw it, but I still can't believe it because it's just that freaking good. Josh Cooley took the soul out of a Pixar movie and transformed it into the spark of Transformers 1. And regardless of the label, and I know this is going to be a funny comparison because Joker 2 did not do so well, but when people went to Joker 1 and were thinking it was going to be a Joker movie, I'm like, no, this is just a good movie. They put Joker as, this is not like that where they slap something over a great film and just call it Transformers. It's both a great Transformers film and a great film. It's just a freaking good movie. And I would say that same exact thing and see it just as many times if I'd never worked for it a single time. I would be just as much in that theater, using up all my A-list member tickets every week because I get 3 free tickets a week with AMC. I would be watching it 3 times a week until they didn't put it in theaters anymore, because it's just that freaking awesome.
Yeah, we
like
can't. Yeah, we can't wait to go on Monday.
There's maybe 2 other movies that I went to the theater over and over and over again to see it before it was not in theaters anymore. And one of those was Bumblebee movie. And I'll be honest, Bumblebee may have not been the best movie to watch in something like 40X, but I was like, I'm going to watch it in every format because I love Transformers. I got to work on this. That scene in Cybertron was fantastic. I got to voice my 2 favorite characters. I got to work in something with the original voice of Optimus Prime. All those things were huge bucket lists for me. And then the first Matrix movie, like the mind-blowing special effects, I watched it like 7 times in a row in one day, like back to back to back. This movie is on par with that. Like, I just wanted to go back and see it again and again. As soon as I got out of it, I was like, can I just go back and watch the next one?
Yeah, I'm just going to read this comment from Agent Pangu. I think you will love. John says, had so much fun taking my son to the movie. He's the same age I was when the original came out. Oh, that's really nice. Yeah, that is very adorable. But talking of bots, here's our new bot in the game called Vector Prime that's been designed by Sam.
Well, we need
And
to.
wow,
We need to show it.
yeah, well, we are seeing it. Oh, I
No,
see it.
you are
Oh, I
seeing
see
it,
it.
Dale. You're
I see
jumping
it.
ahead. Anyway,
I
with this
I
smooth intro, we can actually start showing the new bots. Uh, so yeah, we're going straight into content because Dale just started talking about it. So this is a new bot. This is Vector Prime. So one of the primes finally making it outside of, I guess, Optimus. So it's cool to finally see some of these iconic, characters that have been in the lore for quite some time. So I know a lot of people have been scared because we have not actually shared any art until now. This is why, because it just came down to the wire, because we had some problems with the people that are creating this art. But yeah, it's finally here and it looks really spectacular.
wow. I think it's good that we're showing this as a first time because this is everybody's first reaction to the art and they're already going crazy. Fraximus Prime says Vector Prime is just awesome. That is so cool, Blackjack is saying. I mean, yeah, this is epic. Big Blade is saying I'd love
shower.
Sorry, John.
Do you think he has trouble getting in and out of the shower with those arm wing things?
Oh, definitely. Yeah, I don't think he gets in at all.
I see him constantly bumping into doorways.
Well, Big Blade saying I'd love to have a spaceship like that. Yeah, I agree. But yeah, this is epic. This is so cool. So yeah, good job, Sam.
Before we talk about what they do, let's actually show the other character, the Decepticon this time, which is Nova Prime. Lots of bots here. So this is Nova Prime. I know people say he's not really Decepticon, but he had his dark days, as we said in the last stream. He went a bit evil in the end, and that's why I think we're grouping him with the bad guys. He's also one of the cool characters.
This is very cool. I like the wings.
I like the way he stomps on the ground there as if he's gonna do some kind of hurricane. Boom, boom. Oh wow, look at that. That is very cool. It's really nice. I like the transformation. Agent Pangu says Nova looks great. Nova Prime looks much better. Yeah, I think they both look cool. I think it's hard for me to pick one what's better than the other. Grey Malian says very nice model. Yeah, they're really cool. So yeah, awesome. Very cool designs. So cool that the vehicle form is so cool. Blackjack is saying. Cuddy Fox says just about every prime has had dark days.
Yeah, I mean, the power goes to your head, I think. Ultimate power corrupts ultimately, as they say. But yeah, that's
Absolutely.
Oh yes, John. I don't think we fully got that. Are you able to repeat? Because that sounded so cool.
I said absolute power corrupts absolutely.
Nice.
It sounds so good. We'll need to get that into the game, I think. It sounds amazing.
I'm 10 feet away from work at any given point. There you go. See?
Well, we can't see your
I forgot the background's gonna make it disappear. You just have to take my word for it that I'm 12 feet away from work.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm sorry. What is that in meters?
Right, so I think we can start talking a little bit what they do, and this is where we can leave it to Sam to cover, since I think it's one of the first bots that you designed, Sam, fully. Let me find, because Vector Prime is all the way to the bottom. But
I know we need like a search thing, don't we? You know,
Yes.
the way you just
Yeah, that's a
type.
good idea. Type a search bar so you can just type a name in alphabetical.
I've been asking for it for 4 years. We're gonna get it, John. We're
Cool.
gonna get it.
Right,
I've been asking to be in this game for 8 years, so you can wait.
Sorry, Sam. Go ahead.
Awesome. Yeah. So this is Vector Prime, Nova Prime. Yeah, Nova Prime was a little special place because that was actually the first spot that I ever researched before I ever joined the team or did anything as well. But ended up going in a different direction from that time. But yeah, as I got to know the game like little bit better. So yeah, Vector Prime, time god, universe hopping, ancient being, right? So what I wanted to do was do something on theme for him, really. So that's why we have a lot of different time things happening and a lot of universe splitting, etc. So yeah, kind of started with Chromia, really. The idea of being able to deploy something that was persistent and being able to yeah, control other either bots or like buildings in the area, but to kind of lean into that and have deployable clones, I thought was like an interesting idea. Because as it were, we only really spawn clones or hollows or minions in general either at our bot's location or at a designated location. But with this, we kind of made them so that they could spread out, they could move amongst other defenses and buildings. So when you deploy a portal, um, as the other vector primes from other universes start to come out, they will start to jump and utilize different buildings, basically for traversal to allow them to spread out and cause a bit more chaos. So yeah, as it says there, they jump, they spread acid, they do damage, and anywhere that enemies are in range of the portal that you place, so they got like a bit of a mid-range kind of area of effect on them, then you're slowing down the attack rate of everything inside of it. So that's kind of its main use. You're going to be recognizing clusters, or maybe like a thin strip of defenses that you want to disrupt, and basically you making sure that your clones can chain those at the same time as disrupting them through slowdown.
Okay, I'm gonna
Cool.
take him into battle so people can see that. I think we've done a typo on the ability description. I think it's meant to be Riesling without a knee. Someone pointed it out.
It is, yes,
So we're
that
gonna
has
correct
been
that.
corrected elsewhere. Yeah.
Good. So yeah, just an easy base. I guess if you have any questions, Dale, while I demo, you can probably
Yeah.
talk about it.
I will do, yeah. So if you've got any questions about the bot, get them in now. So what Yanis is doing, he's gonna chuck the portal somewhere. Where are you gonna chuck this portal? So then talk me about the AI of these holos then, Sam. Are they all gonna jump to the same building, or how's it gonna work in game?
Sure. So what we were going for was to make sure that we could allow them to take advantage of the acid effects that you can see appearing every time
Yep.
they jump. So these hollows, they make an effort to try and spread themselves out, so they don't jump on the same buildings.
Okay.
They try to pick different buildings from each other and different buildings from ones that they've already jumped on. So yeah, the acid is something that's available for all star levels and also all ability levels as well. But with the G1 equipped, they also stun the defenses as well, which is why it's also good for them to be able to jump to different buildings and not just pick the same ones. Yeah.
So when they jump to a building, they're applying acid to it, and then they're jumping to another one, applying acid, and then jumping to another one, applying acid, and then they're on the battlefield from that point on.
Yes. Yeah. So once they're done with their jumps, and in some cases, if they can't find a good target, what they'll do is they'll save their jumps. So they'll help destroy a building before moving on, and then they'll jump the next one that they see.
Okay.
So that's why you'll typically see it on the last clone that comes out. They'll be saving their jumps for a building down the line.
I see. And I noticed that they can jump over walls, so they're just a bit like Drift then. They can jump over walls as well, and they're quite ninja-y. So it's like you have a bunch of drifts in the battlefield in a way, which is really cool. So talk to me about the stun then. So how does the stun work? When they jump to a building, it stuns it, jump to the next one, stuns it, or is it when it's on the battlefield only, it's fighting, then it's stunning? Can you talk to me a little bit about that?
Yes. So we kept the the effects that they give exclusive to the jumps. So it's kind of like their own little ability, and they won't be stunning or applying acids just in general when they're attacking things. Although what we have done is we have put the acid effect that they do spread on their damage for when they're facing other bots, so that comes in handy on defense. Because they only jump buildings, but when they're on defense, obviously there's no buildings to jump. So we thought it would be a good idea to make sure that they could have some of their effects as well on defense.
Okay.
It's what you'll
Cool.
be called, building jumper.
Oh, I like it. What kind of voice would you give Vector Prime, John? Just sorry to drop you in on this.
Vector Prime should have one of these types of voices.
I like it. I like it. So Sam, talk to me about the cost. So we're going 5+3. AB11. What changes with AB11 then?
Okay, so yes, this is where we start seeing some interesting reasons as to why we make sure that they jump and they spread out. Obviously, like the question could remain, why don't they just jump to the same buildings? Because they impact on them when they jump and they deal damage. And so we've already gone over the stun and the acid effect, which is why we want them spread out. But on 11, they explode as well.
Explode.
So
Okay.
yeah, so think your Nor Sharkticons, and that's not just because it's my favorite character. It's just because minions. They similarly they explode. So they deal damage in a small area around them. So instead of them being all clustered up and damaging the same buildings, when you use them correctly, you'll end up with the clones in different places and then detonating and doing damage in a small area each.
Cool. And I guess we just demoed the ability in AB10.
Yes.
I guess we've just upgraded it. So can I control the explosion in respect that, okay, I'm going to drop my portal, they're going to leap to 3 other buildings. If I wait a few seconds and then drop another portal, is it just going to, are they all going to, are the other ones going to explode because they're being removed from the battlefield? Because I think we need to state that you only can have 3 in a battle at a time. So can I manage that explosion myself?
You can, yes, through the portal use, as you've definitely picked up on there. So similar to the way that we handle other hollows and spawned minions from abilities, we basically kill off the last ones. So that's not exclusive, obviously, to this. This is a principle throughout the game, right? So on death, that's when they explode. So if you decide to place another portal somewhere else, anywhere that those clones are, they will explode when they die. So yeah, you can basically choose to pull the trigger
Whenever
on that explosion when you want. Yeah.
Okay, so just drop a portal, they're going to explode, and I'm going to get basically new friends to aid me in battle, which also gives me another question to you then. How long do they last? I guess death is the answer there, isn't it? You put the portal down, 3 bots always come out, and yeah, until they die, they're there.
Depends on the
Correct.
damage, I guess, on the base. Like,
Yes, it depends. Cool. So are they always good? I guess then another question. Sorry that I'm loading you in loads of questions. I think players might want to know. I guess they're always looking to get ahead of the battlefield. For example, if I'm going to just drop him straight down, I guess this is not a great way to use it because the bots, the decoys are always looking to get ahead. Like we can see they're jumping ahead onto buildings. Obviously these decoys on this left hand side are going to the same buildings, but because that is probably because there's no other buildings in range. Sorry, there's loads of
Yes.
questions there.
Yeah, I think there were a few questions in there. But yes, sending them into a danger zone is kind of the trade-off.
Yeah.
They can be quite devastating with the effects that they have and the damage that they have as well. And when you fully upgraded and when you're at 5-star as well, it's releasing free clones with 50% health and DPS as well. So that's quite a lot in terms of stats, and obviously because of their ability, while they're jumping as well, they are considered in the air, and that means that they are generally not targeted by a number of ground defenses as well. So they're basically skipping out on some damage whilst they're trying to make their way up the base. So yeah, it's just basically the trade-off. if you think of it like Laser Optimus's bouncing projectiles, which was also kind of an inspiration for this, how we chain buildings when we recognize that we've got a cluster or a good straight line. Like that, but there's a trade-off of, yeah, it might be a bit too dangerous to deploy them here, so maybe I will choose to, maybe place the portal closer to the lighter side where there's less defenses and they can work their way up, rather than putting them right in the middle where they're going to get shot at immediately. But again, with the AB11 though, there's still some payoff because they'll explode, right? So that might help clear like an area, but generally you're going to want to get the acid use, the stun use, the jump damage as well. Like you want to make sure that you're utilizing this.
Yeah. Cool. So Wild Deadly saying, oh, okay, so you decide when to detonate. Yes and no, because if they take too much damage, they're probably just going to explode, right? But if they're not taking that much damage, they're surviving, you could say, I'm just going to throw down another portal because they're near a building that I want to kill. In that way, yes, you have the control, but if they're taking too much damage, you might not always want to get the explosion right where you want it, but that's where you have to be a bit careful on your portal placement and things like that. Obviously, our content creators are going to run you through all these bots as well, because I know we've got some questions on best combats and stuff. Obviously, I think you should ask the content creators, because they are putting these bots through their paces. They will tell you all the best builds for these bots. Was in the chat says,
I have a question for you.
Sure, John, go ahead.
Speaking of Danger Zone, when are we going to
Yes.
see the Maverick Transformer as well as the other Transformers crossover characters in Earth Wars? I want to see Maverick. I want to see all of our. I want to see the Jurassic Park Jeep that turns into a dinosaur. I want to see all our Transformers crossovers.
Crossovers are always tricky to do because it depends on what Hasbro wants to give us the rights from. And there's a lot of nice and cool crossovers I would love to get our hands in, but
I hope they eventually do every '80s vehicle as a Transformer, so you can have a whole '80s team.
I would love that.
Streetwise and Groove is the Chips Patrol cars. You've got the A-Team van that transforms into an Ironhide looking. It's just the whole friggin' team.
I would love that. I'm a bit concerned that then we have to talk with all the people that own the other side of that and also get rights. But I mean, if it's Hasbro, we did get a crossover with G.I. Joe. It was really, really fun to do. But yeah, it'd be nice to get something in the future, something else. We're all up for it for sure.
Cool, that would be amazing. I'm just making sure we've also answered all the questions.
Right, we might just go through and show the event too.
Yeah, sure.
Because that's
go
gonna
ahead.
be unique, and that's probably something we need to discuss. So this is the event that's gonna be tomorrow. In order to gain these characters, and this event is not the usual endurance. This is going to be endurance using the Mayhem rules, as you remember. So Mayhem rules allow you to do there's a higher fuel cost, but you get also 3 times the event points if you were to destroy this whole base, or you get multipliers based on what you get. I think we ran it for the last Legacy event. We found a lot of players prefer that, with some people saying that they also want to have the option to do mobiles during some times. But yeah, this is the first time we're going to be running it for an endurance event with the whole alliance. So as you saw the events, we're also of course going to be giving the 5-star Vector Prime and Nova Prime at the end. Lots of other rewards, the usual 3.5 million rewards.
Oh, you said it wrong. You have to say 3.5 million points.
Yes, 3.5 million points, as you said correctly.
Can you do that again, Yanis? You've got to do the action properly.
3.5
million. I can't remember how it is.
3.5 million points.
3.5 million points.
John, do you think Yanis could be a voice actor?
He hasn't seen me yet in the dialogue, so we'll see that when we get around.
Anybody give you voice actor?
Cool.
Yeah, so the usual event rewards, I'm not gonna go through there. The only difference for people is when you go into battle, I'm just gonna show that really quickly. So in this case, we have the usual Mayhem zones, which is a bonus, but you're also gonna see like we're giving the option to be able to do 5 fuel cell battles in all the zones that correspond to your scanner. That doesn't give a multiplier. That pretty much gonna be the multiplier that you usually get when you go into these attacks. Uh, but uh, but yeah, actually yes.
I guess
So
a
yeah,
follow up from that, Yanis. I guess we can confirm, just to ease all the panic, that there's been no change to the Mayhem zones at all. It's for people who played the Legacy event, it's same points.
the Mayhem
Just
ball,
exactly.
the same zones are the Mayhem zones are exactly the same. We
Exactly.
just added some other zones, which with the 5 fuel cell cost, you get the points that you usually get in events where you use 5 fuel cell. There is a small bonus on top of that. But again, I think this is more like for the players that might know I have 20 fuel cells and I rather, for example, do 4 battles instead of just do 1 battle and then go and rest. We still believe the 15 fuel cell is what you want to be attacking because it's just the most optimal and time consuming. But we did want to give another option. We're still gonna cover feedback from this event and still make adjustments as we go. But yeah, but if you like the previous Mayhem mode, you have exactly the same zones and you'll be able to do
Yeah.
the same exact points.
I guess we've got a question here. Was a saying, so using 5 fuel cells gives you more XP? No, you only
No,
get
you don't.
you only get the 5 fuel cells worth of XP, as if you was doing, as you can see with zone 15 here. You can see the difference.
Everything
It is
is
triple
like kind
because
of
you're
like triple
yeah.
the rewards. If you do triple fuel cells, then you're gonna get triple the bonus.
So if we was to say, just for example, because we know all the Mayhem zones are exactly the same, if I was going to play an event zone 16 for 5 fuel cells, what is the bonus then? Because you're saying it's just like the game before. If I kill the HQ and then do some destruction, what is the bonus after that? Is it like a 10% increase to what we're used to? Like, what is that small increase
The thing is, still we
like
need to
now?
destroy this whole HQ and the whole this whole base.
Yeah,
But then you're gonna be able to. So there is gonna be more time consuming. You're gonna have to invest probably more on bots. You're gonna
yeah.
get 10% on the event that you'll be able to get in a usual zone 16 if you were to do an event. But yeah, it won't make up for, I guess, the time that you might consume. So it is something we want to try. But yeah.
Cool. And then when you kill the HQ, you can just leave anyway, right? It's
Yeah. A lot of people pointing like it is quick. Like if you add everything, it's gonna be a bit bigger. But this is because you're gonna be dedicating 3 times the time to do these battles. So yeah, if you want to play like that, go ahead and try it. See what's more efficient for you. But
yeah. You've got the option.
you have the
You've got the
option.
option.
Yeah.
You've got the
So
option to play either way. So yeah, that is the event this weekend. Mayhem. If you played Mayhem before, exactly the same. If you preferred playing 5 fuel cells, well, you can play a little bit of the Mayhem game style with 5 fuel cells. So it is a little bit of everyone this
let's see. But
weekend.
as we said, like we're gonna get feedback. We're gonna make
Yeah,
adjustments. Yeah, we did
yeah,
last time. Still confused. Hopefully people can see it and give us some feedback over the event. But yeah, it's there.
Cool.
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 Yeah, like some people are really good in maths, but they don't think about the time. As I said, time is the difference. But yeah, that's all for the events and the new bots. So I don't know.
Excellent.
Moving more questions.
Moving on. More
Yeah.
questions. I think Callum.
So
I
yeah,
will
I've
pass over
actually
to you.
I've been looking in the Discord. We opened up a channel specifically to get the questions for John. So if you don't mind, John, I'm just going to hound them at you if you want to
Ah,
go a quick fire
That's-
round.
reference joke.
One of the main ones was what inspired you to get into the voice acting itself?
I'll try to keep this as short and brief as possible, but I've just always been an audiophile. I've been a big fan of just voices and sound in general. And I really didn't know that it was a job or a career or anything like that. I've been doing voices since, obviously besides just speaking, but I've been just like doing actual voices, characters, whatever, since I was 4. And when I first heard Peter Cullen's voice in Voltron, the narration part, that just made me like, that kind of planted the seed of like, that's a cool thing I'd like to do. I didn't know what it meant, but I was like, I'd like to be that. I didn't really know how to put those things into words. Like, I didn't know I want to be a voice actor, that those words did not exist. Give it some time. We just fast forward through the thing. The internet was invented by Al Gore, and we started looking up who did what on the internet. But back then, they just put a list of all our actors together in the credits. They didn't say who voiced what. So my older brother, who was about 8 years older than me, started working for a company that worked for Google to kind of put together information for search engines. And he started working specifically in the voice actor area because there just wasn't information about that out there. So we started learning who did what. I started getting interested in character creation specifically, and just kind of learned everything I could learn for free on the internet for a couple of years. Now there's a website by a legendary voice actor, D. Bradley Baker, that has all that information all in one place called iwanttobeavoiceactor.com. So you don't have to do what I did. But a local studio that had a chain of studios across the country called Studio Center had one in my hometown of Memphis. And I just didn't think anything like that existed, at least close by. And it's like, what's the worst they can do is say no, right? It's 50 minutes away. So I gave it a shot. They were blown away. They had me come back. I booked pretty much right away. I was booking just a little bit here and there. And then it was just kind of big break and big break and big break and different connections. And people would just kind of discover me doing the thing I'm doing now, which is just putting myself anywhere I could put myself. If there was a screen and it had a volume, I was like, you should be putting voices or doing something to show what you can do on that, whatever it is. So whether it was MySpace or YouTube or whatever, I was just putting myself out there, showing people what I was capable of. And I kind of got this reputation of as YouTube and Miss Prime or YouTube Prime because I was doing a lot of parody stuff with Transformers because it's always been my favorite. And I remember the first time I collaborated with Dr. Smoove, old school Transformers fans will remember that name. And he even told me that he's like, dude, at some point I can tell you're going to be where you just have to say no and just can't reply. I was like, no, I'm never going to be that. I'm not going to be the guy who ignores fans and ignores comments and ignores because I'm a fan too. I don't really see myself as a famous person. I don't see myself as a celebrity or any of those things. I really just see myself as a nerd who loves Transformers, who happens to have like one of the coolest jobs ever. And my job since the first day, I was like, all right, God, when you give me the Transformers job, number one, I'm not going to screw it up. Number two, I'm just going to make sure that I do the very best I can do to make it the best that I can do on my part. So my goal is always to just make, specifically Transformers, but every client, I want to make whatever it is I work on the best it can be. But I very much care about Transformers, so I always put in extra effort for Transformers. And the voice acting thing just kind of generally happened. It started off with movie trailers and commercials and led to other cool stuff. But Transformers specifically happened because I was persistent. I kept going to San Diego Comic-Con. I kept reaching out to Hasbro. I got a little bit of a foothold into Hasbro by working for Star Wars very early as a voice actor. And I have it somewhere.
Oh,
I thought I had it right there with me. But anyway, somewhere in here is my Transformers Star Wars helmet that I seem to have misplaced. It was one of the few toys that I got to do in the Star Wars commercials. I was voicing Captain Rex and Anakin for toys and commercials. And it was like, that's awesome, And she almost made it where I didn't even get a chance to be excited and happy about Star Wars, because I love Star Wars too, almost as much as I like Transformers. But she was like, hey, you got the Transformers job. I'm like, I got Transformers? Because there was a Transformers audition. It was just do you guys remember the Revenge of the Fallen Hot Wheels racetrack that had like this awful Devastator monster on it? You could put your little cars in and run. It was the commercial for that, which wasn't a big deal. But for me, it was like, that's something Transformers. So I had auditioned for it. She's like, hey, you booked Transformers? Like, I did. She's like, oh, I'm sorry. It's Star Wars. I'm like, oh, man. I should have been excited about Star Wars instead. It was just, and that was kind of like my first entryway. I met this wonderful lady named Sarah who used to work for Transformers. She put all the voices in the toys for the Transformers animated toys, in case you didn't know, a little behind the scenes. And she was telling me stories about how she went to Skywalker Ranch, and she got to see all the original movie props, the 7-foot Star Destroyer on the conference table, because apparently George Lucas did at the time do final approval on voices for their Star Wars toys, which I thought that was incredibly cool. So that means he personally approved said, this is good for the toys and stuff that I worked on, which made me extremely happy. So I went to San Diego Comic-Con. I kept talking to them about the stuff and I was like, hi, I'm the guy who did the voice for this toy and this stuff. And they're like, oh, we know who you are. And that led to them every year I would come by and say hi and to make comment, and they were always very nice to me. And then Machinima was going to do Combiner Wars. And I didn't get a chance to audition. I didn't even know how it was going to be done. They just happened to be at that booth at the time I was there, and I told them who I was. And because I already had a decent voiceover resume at that point, they were like, oh, we know who you are. Can we get your information? We'd love to talk to you more about some other stuff. And they directly offered me the role of Optimus Prime. And while I was there, the director came in and says, Hasbro said they've been looking for somebody like you for a very long time, somebody that they can do a lot of projects with, that either, Optimus Prime is too busy being famous or too, just can't, won't, whatever. And all these other projects that we have so they wanted to work with me not only as a voice actor, but also as a content creator, because I'm both. I'm not just a voice actor. I do cool stuff on social media and all on my own already. And I also professionally do work for them. So it became a kind of a merging of the dudes where they're like, okay, well, we can send you an influencer thing. We could send you a product, or like with you guys, we could send you the stuff for the game, and you guys can, because I'm not here to charge, because I've had companies like, hey, how much do you charge for a post? I'm like, it's Transformers, dude. I'm not going to charge you, man. I love Transformers. I'll take your money if you want to give it to me. But at the same time, I would probably promote it anyway because I freaking love this brand so much. So that's kind of how I've been. And then roles would come in, and sometimes I'll book them and sometimes I won't. Sometimes I get auditions and I'll try out for it. And sometimes they just book me directly. Like, hey, can you be here at this specific time and this specific day? I don't want to pitch any of your competitors, but I've also worked on some other Transformers mobile games. And they just reached out through my agent, like, hey, we can you do these? They didn't even say, hey, can you try out for this stuff? It was just more like, hey, do you have the ability to do these guys? And I'm like, yeah, absolutely. But I always double check. And like, well, what about so and so and so and so and so? So, well, they can't or won't. We already checked. So I'm just like the guy that they go to when everybody else says we can or we won't, or I'm already working for that company. But yeah, it's been a crazy career, because I started professionally in voiceover in 2000. I want to say 2008, but I started doing R&D, like research and development, 2 years before that. So 2006-ish is when I really started focusing on professional work. 2008 is when I started booking professional work. And then 8 years ago from this year, I started booking Transformers work. And in the last 8 years, obviously not every single role that I've booked and gotten paid for, you guys have heard, but I've already booked over 50 Transformers roles so far in 8 years. And most people are like, wait, what? I thought you only worked on this thing and this thing. No, I've worked on lots of freaking stuff. So yeah, it's become a very large part of my career, really, just that one particular client. For a long time, it was just like, oh, I do all this stuff, including Transformers. But now it's just like, yeah, I did this, and freaking Transformers. And I've just kind of started checking off the nerd list: Muppets, Lego, Transformers, Star Wars, Disney, Marvel. Like, all my favorite companies are just like, Marvel's been awesome. Marvel and Disney have a bad reputation. I don't know where it came from. But they have a bad reputation from voice actors that I've heard and know. They were like, man, these guys don't pay well. They don't pay much. They have been nice to me. Maybe you guys are working for the wrong departments, but they have been nice to me. They pay me well. They pay me very quickly. And they really love me. They don't even audition. I take that back. They did audition me once for the same character I already booked. And then I did, and then I booked it again. So it just proved that I was already good enough for the job the first time.
Good. How many voices are you on now with Transformers, then specifically? How many have you done now, unique voices?
I don't know about unique voices. It's easier just to keep up with the total amount of bookings. And right now it's over 50.
Over 50. Wow.
That I'm allowed to talk about. By next year, it will be over 100. Maybe a Transformers record holder for voices booked.
Wow.
For Bumblebee film, I was Soundwave and Shockwave in the final film.
Yeah.
But what you guys didn't hear was I also did Ironhide, Starscream, Ratchet, and Optimus Prime's ADR work. So that's 4 of the characters that you never even heard that I got paid to book. So I know it's a technicality, but I'm counting everything that I booked for Transformers officially. And there's like 30 voices that are out and in the final thing, but there's like 50 voices total that I've actually been paid to do for Transformers in some capacity rather. So it's really freaking cool. I'm very, very happy about it. In fact, I have one other record. I am the only other Transformers voice actor besides David Cate himself who has voiced both Optimus Prime and Megatron. And I've done that in at least, I want to say 3 games where I've been both characters in the same project.
Wow.
In Beyond Reality, it was the very first Transformers VR game. It was the very first Transformers VR console game. And I voiced every male Transformer in the entire game and the human characters as well. There's only 2 other characters in it that are not my voice, and that's my friend Allison Packard, who voices the 2 female roles. And yes, I feel like there should be more female roles. There should be more BIPOC voices, but it is what it is.
Absolutely. I guess the last question, because I remember speaking to you, weeks ago, and I said, what are some voices in Transformers you wish to do? So
They're
there
still,
you go.
I want to. G1 Scorponok's still on my list, man. Unfortunately, you guys already have him in there, but I don't know if he has a voice yet. They had him in Tactical Arena, and I thought I had a good chance of getting that one because I voiced I want to say 7 or 8 characters in Tactical Arena, and they booked somebody else. I was like, man, he's on my list. He's like the last one on the list that I haven't booked of favorites.
Let us hear it's your boy Soldier said on Twitch. Let's hear that Optimus Prime voice.
Hey, it's Optimus Prime. It's your voice all transformed and roll out.
That is amazing.
So good,
Wow. That is so good. And I guess we've heard Optimus Prime now. We might as well hear Megatron, right? Because
Oh, you broke up, John.
I think your Megatron voice just broke
It's
Zoom.
too good that it broke it.
It's too good it didn't come through, John.
All right, I'll try to keep it a little quieter.
It's actually Lord Commander Megatron, ruler of the Decepticons.
Oh, and we got we can hear that, and we got
We got that.
Sunstreaker was says, imagine John doing some new voices. Yes. Oh well.
You don't have to
Some
understand
new
forever.
voices.
New voices. Well, that would be cool. People are saying impressive, nice. Yeah, we know he broke up on the first time, which is a shame, but loads of positive comments. If you've got a voice maybe you want to hear, John, maybe we can pitch it to John. No promises though, not too many, please.
You send these guys some gifts, I'll do voices for you, but you got to send them some bits.
Absolutely.
We have this whole dialogue coming up where we can just hear some of the other voices.
Yes, I think if that's all right with you, Carl, let's go do some dialogue because we've actually got quite a few bots in there. Let's do that, and then we can ask you some more questions. But people are saying that was amazing, John.
Okay. I was like, I do it for a living.
All right. So, John, I think you can see the game, right? So let's go and see these dialogues. And we haven't done this for a while. We all used to just go and read every week's dialogue. Simon Fairman is writing a dialogue and continues to do that since the launch of the game. And we try to do the best of our voices, but it's nice we have a professional artist going on. So,
should I start?
Oh, dude, he's one of my favorites.
Okay, you take it. You take it, John.
Okay. Bad news, everyone. Using computers or science is something. Chip has discovered Megatron's master plan.
How do we beat that? Well, I'll do Jazz then. John, I'm not a voice actor. I'm not a voice actor. Another one? How many's that now, Wheeljack? I've lost count.
You know, I'd feel bad if you did this kind of voice.
Who's doing Ratchet?
Yeah.
You want to go?
I've
go
voiced
ahead,
Ratchet
John.
about times so far.
Go ahead.
Let me guess. It involves stealing/harvesting/generating some form of local geopower and turning it into energon cubes?
I think you should just go
No,
them
well,
all.
yes. No, well, yes. It's a variation on a theme anyway.
Guess I'll jump in. This is not rocking my airwaves. Pass. Well, John, this is you.
Enough. I got one word. The threat posed by Megatron. ... Even if it is familiar. Demands our full attention, Blaster. Hound, assemble a team and roll out.
Will
Will
do.
do, Prime.
Oh, never mind. I'll just leave it to John.
I go ahead. You guys can do Hound if you want
Right.
to.
Jazz Wheeljack Blaster, front and center. And now we're going to the Decepticons. We do this logo change.
And
So,
anybody you guys want me just to do all of them?
like,
Go ahead. I think Yanis will
I
press
think it's
next.
more worth John doing it than us because
Yeah,
we're
yeah.
butchering this.
We're butchering this. Go ahead, John. This is all yours. After you, Yanis.
and it's a master plan of the week time again.
This one is Megatron's magnum opus. A master plan to end all injustice.
Promises.
Promise.
Promises. I don't know in the word of thing.
I don't know what I'm supposed to say. You guys.
Dale, take a voice. It's fine.
Okay. Please tell me it doesn't involve Kremzeeks.
It involves Kremzeeks. Wait, no.
I like it.
Reflectors, refractor, tractor. Trying to save that after a long new lunch.
Phrasing?
This is Simon's trademark writing.
It's designed to draw in massive amounts of solar radiation from the current sunspot activity, saturating our energon 2 battery. Tragically, any fleshings within 1,000 miles will instantly burst into flame. Control. I detect a burst of activity on our walls. They have as expected. Soundwave, Mixmaster, Shockwave. The battle for reflectors, refractor, attractor begins. Commence operation. Refractor. Say that after a long lunch. Autobots, target refractors, refractor, and the solar radiation thingies. That's definitely something Optimus Prime would say.
Breakout the SPF 10 million? Yeah, I think unfortunately, I think John, your mic doesn't really handle well the awesome voices for the Decepticons.
Well, it's a webcam, Mike. Sorry, it would have been too hot to do this in
the studio.
No.
Yeah, I know. I'm feeling the heat right here, so I'm not blaming you. There is another dialogue if we enjoy that with some of the more characters. Yes,
Sure, let's go ahead. Somebody's saying for the first time ever, I'm actually enjoying the dialogue. Oh, was there?
Oh.
Oh, was there?
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, was there?
We have Galvatron here. Awesome.
We'll leave it to you, should we, John? Because I'm just enjoying how great this is.
So, fun fact, I didn't know that I had voiced Galvatron. Tactical Arena just took my voice from Megatron and slapped it over Galvatron, so I booked it by default.
And I wish they had given me a chance to do my Galvatron voice. Decepticons, I have a new master plan.
Trademark and copyright Megatron. Find your own catchphrase, Galvy baby.
I am Boss Megatron. Surely I'm entitled.
No. Read the terms and conditions. Look, how about Galvatron's Back to Bonkers plan?
That's one of you guys.
I'll do it. So I'll give you a break. Who's a big G talking to? There's no one there. Dale.
Lovely Star screams, "Ghost again!" That's not Reflector, is it? Humor him. It was a difficult transition.
That's you, John.
You were saying, Galvatron, about a plan. Pray elucidate. Tired of bats with silly names like Goo and Paratron Shockwave. I say we restart the Earth Wars.
Earth? What's that old dump got to offer? Isn't it kind of tapped out in terms of master plans?
Yeah, you'll never get a season 4 at this rate.
Shut up, Starscream. I intend to launch a series of geoseismic agitators at the planet. Activated in unison, they will crack Earth open like an egg, releasing untold energy we can harvest and turn into John Cubes. Dun, dun, dun. Surprise, surprise.
Yawn. Been there, cubed that.
Galvatron's planning what?
To shake and bake Earth and mine it for its resources wholesale. Oh, who's doing the only female?
I should get my friend to do it, but she's asleep.
Callum, go on, Callum.
Well, I put Ultra Magnus to accomplish that, he'll have to expend more energon than he can hope to harvest. That's
Crazy.
Bad bonkers? Exactly. RC, we have to stop him. We may have moved on to planets with more interesting names like Char and Zemajan. But I still have a soft spot for Earth. Hound!
I'll assemble a team and roll out. Wait, anyone else feeling a touch of deja vu?
Look, while we're retrofitting season 3, any chance we can ditch that Quintesson origin thing? Always did prefer the whole Primus Unicron version.
Gets my vote, Wheeljack. Now, let's scramble Galvatron's plans for Earth.
Okay. I
Wow.
have no idea where this dialogue goes from, but
Any idea
John,
where Peloton is? Call 1-800 Unsolved Mysteries.
John
So,
did
yeah.
so amazing. I think I was trying to find a dialogue that has a lot of the iconic characters in it, and I have no idea where we use this. But yeah, Simon Feldman was giving. I don't know what he was writing there about, but yeah, amazing,
Yes.
amazing voice actor, John. Thank you for
Wow.
doing this for us.
It wasn't first thing in the morning.
That was amazing.
A little heads,
Wow.
a little heads up. I was up recording another project that I can't talk about today, but you guys would all be like, anyways. But it took me 2 days to finish it, so I was grateful that I kind of sort of got the job of kind of casting it as well as just was voicing a lot of voices for it. And I also agreed to do the editing for it. So it took up like 3 days. I didn't finish till 2:30 in the morning because I was trying to get you guys
Wow.
a video and get all that stuff finished recording so I could rest my voice before I had more voice sessions to do.
Yeah, we have to be very. It's just crazy how you switch during that dialogue. I don't know if anybody else saw it. Just the way you just switch voices. It's like do you have like a switch in your voice where you just you just. It's just crazy how quick it just switches. It's amazing.
Part trans. You can turn my video off. I didn't know that did that.
I was gonna say, like, you just switch voices so
Oh, there.
easy. It's so good. A lot of people I'm reading on YouTube right now wow, there's so many great comments. Like, apparently you nailed. Well, apparently you did. Wow, that Starstream voice is spot on. From from Sunstreaker, was it? And we've also got some Sunstreaker says again, even Shockwave was spot on. They're surprised you could do all
Even
these.
Shockwave. I am Shockwave, bro.
He is Shockwave, correct?
So I have totals for all these numbers. I believe I voiced Starscream. I want to say 3 times for video games, and the other one I think of Shockwave. I think it's been I want to say 5 times, counting Bumblebee movie. So I'm
Wow.
racking them in.
Wow, yeah, and then they're saying your Ultra Magnus voice was amazing as well. What else? What was
That's
your
what I
favorite
heard.
voice?
On my list. I would love to voice Ultra Magnus officially in some capacity, but so far he just hasn't come up.
Well, you know what, John? They keep saying we need to rework Ultra Magnus in our game. So maybe.
Guys, I keep telling them you should let me do the voices for the game. And at the very least, let me do some promos for the game so I can at least say that I worked on it somehow.
I think yeah, we talk
Yeah.
about it. See if we can get you to voice some stuff. I mean, we had Peter Cullen and we had someone did
Frank,
Megatron
yeah.
back in the day.
The two
But
biggest voices.
we asked him like, can you? We had the only voice. We have the introduction to the battle where we introduced the characters, and we only did it for the first 20 something characters, so everyone knew about. And after that, we just didn't have any more. So maybe we can expand that. Maybe we can find something else cool. I would love you to have you in the game.
You guys ever have the capacity to start adding voice lines for the characters? I'm happy to cast it and do some voices for it too. Because I know lots of folks. I recently got to where I was collabing with Evan, who you guys will probably see on this show before too long, who was Jazz in Transformers 1. But so this is not breaking news because I did already talk about this on the Transformers Twincast over on Sabertron.com. That's where I first broke the news. But a lot of people just still don't know because the movie's pretty early on. But I actually was originally cast to be Chris Hemsworth's voice double, just like Evan was cast to be D16's voice double. So the two of I are substitute Orion/Optimus and D16/Megatron. And I noticed that you guys got them in the game. So if you want to have the next closest thing to Brian and Chris, you got me and Evan.
That is amazing.
You probably Brian and Chris for your game. You can afford us.
I think we'll have to ask the player. What does the players think? Do the players think that we should have a voice for Orion Pax in our game? In fact, I'm not gonna. I know what their answer is, John. They're already spamming. Yes, let's do it.
Okay, so you guys want this is an exclusive. I've only done this publicly once, but this is an exclusive. So while I was filling in for Optimus, not Orion, but Optimus, when he transitions from Orion Pax to Optimus Prime. So he just basically it said like he did want Josh Cooley, the director, did want him to specifically start sounding different, more like a hero, more gravitas with his voice, and he sounded kind of younger and more playful and less serious earlier in the movie. So being the consummate professional that I am, I decided to do something just for the heck of it. But I blew the director's mind. So Peter, Chris Hemsworth's, his American accent sounds like this. But when he's doing Optimus Prime, his voice is down here. So he's saying, "We stand here together as one." Well, that's how he does it. My version, though, was, "We stand here together as one." And I merged his voice and Optimus Prime's voice together. His jaw was like, "Did you just do what I think you did?" I was like, "If you mean I just merged Chris Hemsworth and Peter Cullen's voice into the same thing, then yes, I did. See if find somebody else that can do that."
Wow.
Amazing. So good.
That
Even
is-
I interviewed Steve Bloom yesterday, who you guys can hear in Transformers 1 as well. We were all doing ADR for everything, so we had no idea what was going to be final voices or anything. So he's the race announcer. He's also one of the security bots at the beginning of the movie that you hear in the trailer. He and I both did both of those. Like, there's no telling how many guys did all these different voices until they settled on what versions are the final voices. So I'm extremely grateful to be voicing Soundwave again. But it was just so much fun working on that movie and hearing all these guys in there and hearing Isaac's voice for Darkwing. I had actually thought he was Ben from Underworld, the really big guy that plays the biggest of the Lycans, because he was Black Beetle in Young Justice, and he has a very similar voice to this. So we didn't even know who each other was. We would see each other come in and out of the studio and be like, I wonder if they're working on Transformers or something else. Like, we're all afraid to ask because we're under non-disclosure agreements. But yeah, it was crazy watching the transition from storyboards and animatics and just watching the progress of the film all the way from the very, very, very beginning. But getting to, for the second time, be Optimus / Orion Pax's stand-in, it worked better this time. Because there was a lot. I'm going to go ahead and address this now because there might be a few people, but you guys can start spreading this around. There was a panel by a certain voice actor who I won't mention any names at the very beginning of COVID in 2020, and had talked about the Bumblebee movie and about how Optimus Prime's the actor got done dirty, and how they hired me instead of him, and they were using me as leverage to get him to take less money. That's completely false, everybody. That is just pure rumor, speculation based on one actor's version of what happened who wasn't in the room where it happened, to quote Hamilton. I was never, ever hired to be Optimus Prime. I was hired to fill in for Optimus Prime, just like I did for Transformers 1. That's a totally standard, normal job. We do the post-production work. We fill in for voices. We fill in for all the voices. We have no idea if we're even going to be in the final film or not. We just know that we're standing in, and I always double and triple check. I was like, why does Peter Cullen want to do it? And it was very specific. There's always a specific answer. If they are unable, unwilling, or unavailable, then that's the only way that I will take the job. And that's what I was told because my agents went and checked. But he was always going to be Optimus Prime in Bumblebee movie. That was one. Okay, so everybody knows about the infamous first trailer for Transformers 1 not really reflecting how great the film was. Yeah. That's all that happened. Somebody put out a trailer that used my temporary Optimus Prime voice in a teaser spot, and people spread rumors. And when you're under a disclosure agreement, you can't defend yourself. You can't say anything about anything. So I couldn't say, I'm not Optimus Prime, guys. This is the goof that I had nothing to do with. But people went on a tangent. People were threatening me, telling me to stay in my lane. People physically were saying, like, back off or else kind of stuff. I'm like, dude, you guys don't understand how my job works. This is a totally normal job. I did not steal Peter Cullen's job. They did not use me for leverage to make him take less money. It was literally just part of normal production. And I did the exact same job for this movie. And because they did it the right way, nobody even noticed. That's how good I am at my job, because I did for the entire film for this movie. And Optimus was barely even in Bumblebee movie. And it was just a misinformation thing that happened with production department being separate from the promotion department. I had nothing to do with that trailer. I was just wanting to make sure I cleared all the air, because I do a lot of work for a lot of famous voice actors. I filled for Ryan Reynolds and all the Chris's, and just whoever they throw at my way, I'm just like, yeah, I'll fill in.
because it's a paycheck. I'm not obviously not replacing anybody. I'm just filling in. So now you guys all know you have to go back and watch Transformers 1 because you can still hear me slipped in here and there as a Ryan Optimus. I'm
you
trying to
should
figure it
go.
out because I'm good though.
Absolutely. I mean, if you haven't gone to see Transformers 1 yet, what are you doing? I mean, it's kind of at us, but our excuse is we're
Well,
booked
you
in
guys
on
can't
Monday.
watch it. We're 11th, but everybody else, what's your excuse?
Yeah, we're booked in on Monday, and we won't stop talking about it all day Monday. So
booked
we might have
whole cinema of YouTube.
Yeah,
so
I hope that you guys have planned on a second trip back, because I promise, as soon as you watch it through, and wait till the very, very, very end, there is a mid and an after's credit scene, and it's worth sticking around for. I'm surprised you're not planning your second trip, because when you watch it once, you're gonna want to go watch it again immediately.
we have a whole week. We can be back.
yeah.
I know we probably have a lot of stuff, but should we do some trivia, because we haven't done for a while, and we actually have some questions in courtesy from Nathan Webb. And
we do, and I am going to give a quick shout out to Nathan Webb, because he did mention on YouTube. He says, John, you could single-handedly dub the entire Japanese Transformers cartoons. That's what
I could almost. I will say almost, because I would never. Number one, I would never replace an African American voiced character myself. I just wouldn't do that. Number two, I would never voice any female characters myself. So there'd be at least a couple of things I would not be able to dub.
Cool. But yes, let's do some trivia, because like Yanis said, we haven't had trivia in a long time. So thank you, Nathan, for getting back to me today when I kind of got to you really late.
So
I appreciate
the rules, because it's been a while. How people
Has it been that long?
It's been that long.
Okay. Well, let's do a better prize. What prize could we do? Because I feel like maybe like a streamer chest is not maybe good. I will speak to Livebox. We'll send you something really nice.
5-star Christmas.
I don't. No, we don't have that just yet. And we've already given away Soundwave and Blaster and Soundwave, so I can't do that reward either. But I'll ask Livebox
find
if we
something. But yeah,
we'll find something. Question, Yanis, say the rules.
I did see fans asking when Twin Cast will show up.
Oh, that's a question for Yanis. When is Twincast coming to the
game? You already have the model. You just got to change the colors on it.
We can do that. Yeah, we'll see. Like, we added into the list for next year.
I mean, Hasbro's been recoloring their toys for years. Why don't you guys?
Yeah. I mean, we are a bit kind of want to still do characters that we haven't done before, but yeah, we might need to jump on this recoloring thing again. Okay, so trivia comes from Nathan Webb. Whoever doesn't know, Nathan Webb is an artist. He's actually been doing a lot of comic drawings. I need to actually disable.
Yeah, actually.
So he actually shares some of the art that he created for one of the comic, and he's also providing questions. So we want to feature his work. We have done this before. We had him join us and draw some stuff for us. Hopefully he can do that in the future. But yeah, I think in order to get to take part in the trivia, well, you just need to put the correct answer, your HQ level, your alliance name, and what else detail was? I think there was those two: your player name, your HQ level, your alliance name, and the correct answer. So the question is, before Soundwave was a Transformer, he was part of another toy line. What was the toy line that Soundwave was a part of before he became a Transformers? No, we don't try to make it too hard.
Not too hard, John. Not too hard.
The chat's answering the questions though, not me, right?
Yeah, they are answering the question. Yeah, they are.
Okay, because I don't want to be like, oh no, Nippy. Was that kid that the teacher wouldn't pick because I knew all the answers? I had my hand up all the time.
Yeah, get your name, your alliance, and your answer. We'll give you a few seconds to do that. But wow, so many people are saying how amazing it's been that you've come onto the stream, John. So once again, thank you so much for spending time with us today. I know we keep saying it. Sorry, we can't say it enough, really, because it's been amazing. People are just I think your voices are amazing. I don't want you to do too many more voices because.
Well, I do have a session in 40 minutes, so I don't want to kill myself.
We're not going to tire you anymore.
I think we're not going to tire. Yeah, that just what you've done
The
already.
good news is I already
amazing.
finished that big project last night, so all I have left to do is edit it. So all I have to do is honest trailers this morning, which it may be two scripts back to back, but I don't have any other bookings today. But I do have something cool going on later today that's not Transformers related. It is Epic Voice Guy related. Actually, technically, it is Transformers related. So I have an insane. Can I send you guys in the Zoom chat the next trivia question?
Sure.
We can do, yeah.
Yeah,
If you've
yeah.
got another trivia, yeah. Let's go for it. If you want to do your own trivia question,
I
we
mean,
will...
if you do it right now, we could potentially. I hope the Zoom chat won't appear on the stream. If you were to do it, I don't know where that's gonna appear. So
somebody's asking for your social media, John. We will share all of John's social
Crazy
media.
Epic Voice Guy on everything.
yeah, and I have to say I'm a big fan of your Epic Voice Guy videos. They're so good, man.
Yeah.
Do you have a couple of winners?
Yeah, we'll just give it a few more.
Shall we repeat the question?
So the answer to that question that I just typed in is my friend, and he's taking me to a special practical effects studio today to see the screen used Deadpool and Wolverine outfit from the movie that Ryan Reynolds wore with the free holes and everything. So I'm going to be making content with the actual Deadpool suit today. And it's a good thing because I actually worked in that movie too. I know. Hi there. How are you? Huge Transformers fans. Love the GoBots. So nice.
Okay.
That's amazing. Incredible.
Cool.
Cool.
Do we have the winners so we can move on?
Do we have the winners? Let's see who's winning it on Twitch. Pick a winner. Do I see it? I'm gonna pick you there. I'm picking you. I'm gonna put that on Zoom. Can somebody, Callum's fan, somebody on Facebook try and get their name in the lights, and I'll also pick one on.
I don't see a correct answer on Facebook. As a reminder, which was the toy line before Transformers where Soundwave made his first appearance? So no correct answers yet.
I can sing the song from the commercial for you guys if it'll help.
Some people are asking about new combiners. When? So we might be able to do a reveal of one of them. We thought before we finish the stream. I don't think we have the dates yet, but they are coming up. They will be in the next saga, I think.
I really wanted to see how John would voice it, but then when I think about the combiner, I'm like, there's just no way. But then I know he also plays a shark, so
weird because
anything.
Sometimes they just mix all the voices.
I've voiced everything from a flock of flamingos to Laserbeak before, man. I get really weird auditions sometimes.
Cool. So let's say some winners. So on Twitch, I picked the G1MP, the GIMP, who says the answer was micro change. So that is the answer is a micro change. So we're gonna post all our winners.
I prefer the term micro mom.
Callum, who did you pick?
Well, I did pick a gentleman on Facebook, which was Peter Hodgson, who did say it was Micro Man. So I think, due to the technicality, I do think we should give it him as well.
Yeah,
it's either or.
Yeah, what is the name and HQ? I've also put that in our stream chat. So if you want to just chuck it in there, we can gift them some rewards shortly. Did we pick YouTube? Did we do YouTube? No, we didn't do YouTube, did we? Let me pick somebody from YouTube. Let's go for Sean Fortune. Well done to you. We will send you something pretty cool.
I misspelled tail.
This is how it goes.
Cool. So that is trivia over. So again, thank you to Nathan for that. That's amazing. Yanis, show us what is coming. What combine is coming to the game?
Okay, so people have asked. We said we're gonna reveal probably next stream where we just reveal more about the art because only one of them is in the game, but we don't have the time to show them. But I can share the hero render. of the new combiner. So some people guessed it. We said it's not any of the bots that are around in the game, but there will be a way of unlocking them. So the new combiner that's coming in for the Autobots is Raiden. So train combiner. Yeah, from the Decepticon thing, if you can see it. So Raiden is gonna be the next combiner coming in for the Autobots, and he's gonna be coming in the game, and yeah, he looks pretty good. And I can reveal the name of the Decepticons because everyone has guessed him, but we don't have the render art yet. The Decepticon is gonna be
Transformers.
Dino King. So Dino King and Raiden will be the next combiners coming in the game in the next saga. Both from the Japanese continuity, but yeah, we're both really cool and awesome combiners. We're gonna have more details of that in the next stream. But yeah, train boats and dinosaurs. So yeah, lots of fun to be had coming in with the next one.
What do you think about that one, John? The trains.
Cool, man. That's
I like it.
cool.
Cool.
That's
And that,
beautiful. I'd never really cared for the animated design, but you made it look good in CG. That's actually really cool. Because I always thought it was kind of, no offense, but kind of cheesy and corny in the animated version. But it's Transformers. How come nobody's making this pun? That actually looks dope, though, man. I
Yeah.
like the way you do things.
It's one of the bots where we were like, I mean, they're one of the popular ones, but who makes like 6 bots which are all trains and they're all kind of look similar? So we have,
Mhm.
for the people who are asking, we're gonna have a way that you can unlock them. You're not gonna collect all these bots, unfortunately, because that's gonna take a while. But you will be able to get this parts through events and through other ways, and you can unlock these combiners. But more details to come in the next stream. I think that's all the time we have to talk about them. But
I was going to ask real quick. He was the only other one besides Devastator to use 6 vehicles instead of 5, right?
there's quite a few actually. On the
Oh.
Japanese side, Dino King also has 6. The one we have, which I can't remember, I already have one of the Decepticon ones also have 6, though we made him as a 5 because we just only had some of the 5 characters. But there's quite a few that actually have 6 bots combiners.
Okay, cool.
yeah, and I guess I've got
Do every day.
one last question for you, John.
Yes.
When we announced you was coming on stream, people were saying you've never played our game before, maybe. What do you know? I know.
See what I mean? The rumors. I came on when you guys first came on the scene in 2016. It was like, how can I help? I want to promote the game, and I was out there, even though I didn't work on it, making videos and posting. And I was pretty leveled up back then. I started a new account though because I started back then with an Autobot account, and I've switched over and started a Decepticon account now. So it's been a hot second. Decepticon. We all know the truth.
There we go. That's pretty cool. Let's see if there's any last comments before we go. Well, it's been amazing. It's been a bit of an extended stream today. If you did join us a little bit late, you can see the new bots earlier on the stream. You can go on Twitch or YouTube, and you can just take the history of the slider all the way back, and you can watch it all again. Or if you want to watch John's voices all again, which I'm sure we can snip it and put in our newsletter because that was just amazing. It's the only time I've really enjoyed dialogue too. Is just sitting here, just not listening to Yanis butcher, some voices, and me too. I do it as well.
We try. We're not paid for this. But yeah, it was amazing having you, John. It was actually great to meet Sam. We didn't get a chance for him to speak that much for the first stream, but hopefully you'll be able to see him more often going forward. He's designing all the new bots, and yeah, thanks all for joining us. It was an amazing experience.
Yeah. If you do this again at the same time on the same day, I could definitely join again in the future because it's one of the few brief moments before I start getting busy every week that I can be on. I
think one thing we've seen for sure is people love voices, and we need to probably do more of them. They love maybe they just love your voice, John.
But see, when you guys first made the game and you had Peter, Cullen, and Frank being like 3 of the most iconic characters, I'm like, oh, okay, so it's gonna have voices.
and then nothing else. Saying I can help if it's if you guys can squeeze them in there, I'll help you make it work.
We'd love to. We'd love to. Anyway, that's it. That's all we've got time for today. Thanks again, John. You've been amazing. Thank you, everyone. Welcome to Sam as well. Wasn't there some great bots Sam has come up with? First bot as well, and he's got many more to come. Can't wait to play them tomorrow, Sam. Great job. Thank you, everybody. So
Yeah.
that's us, and we can't wait to watch the movie on Monday. So yeah, no spoilers, but I'm excited. And John's going again. John's going for his 12th time.
No, 24th time. 24th. So real quickly, I just want to remind everybody that Transformers 1 is out internationally, China, Germany, France, and the UK, starting tomorrow. Please go support the movie. It is a fantastic film. I promise you got to be just like hate good stuff in order to not like this movie. It is that freaking good. And I also have a huge announcement. Not only the October 11th is extremely important, not only for the movie, but there's another big announcement that happened. What time is it? When is it midnight for you guys over there?
Not for another 6 hours.
6 hours.
In 6 hours. I'm going to be posting some more Transformers news, and I'll let you guys know. I don't want to overshadow this stream by talking and also risk getting in trouble for saying anything too early. But yeah, I've got an announcement tonight, and go see Transformers 1 in theaters internationally. It's going to be out everywhere as of tomorrow. So please go support. Thank you so much, everybody, for having me on and letting me entertain you for a few minutes before I work.
Thank you all.
It's been amazing. No, thank you to you. Thank you, everybody. And we will see you next time in 4 weeks.
Yeah, or 3. We're probably not 4.
Or 3.
We're probably closer.
3.
Yeah, 3 weeks. Anyway,
yeah.
Thanks, everyone. Take care. And yeah, go watch a movie. Bye.
Thank you. Love you.
Bye.